There are a lot of awesome games on the Switch, but sometimes you don't want to spend a bunch of money to play a game. So thankfully, there are a lot of awesome games in the Switch library that are super cheap, and I want to go over 10 of my favorite that are under 10 bucks. To start things off is Blaster Master Zero 2. This is a sequel to Blaster Master Zero, which was a reimagining of an NES title that is a very retro-style side-scrolling shooter, but with a little bit of an interesting kick in that you're not playing as necessarily a traditional character, but instead a vehicle, though there are top-down segments of the characters as well. Overall, the gameplay is great. Combat is fun, exploration feels rewarding, and the game has a pretty decent story to boot, and offers an awesome 16-bit era-inspired graphical style. Now, one of the things I loved about the original Blaster Master Zero is that there was a lot of DLC supporting side characters from other video games that made awesome cameos. We don't have that just yet for Zero 2, but I wouldn't be surprised to see that pop up over time. And plus, if you haven't played the original, that's also super cheap. Play both. They're great. Now, this next game is one of my absolute favorite mobile games that has ever been made, and it has a great home on the Switch as well, and that is Reign's Game of Thrones Edition. Now, yes, Season 8 of Game of Thrones may not have gone exactly how I would have liked, but that doesn't kill the hype for how fun this game is. It's a very simple, straightforward plan where you're making different decisions by swiping left or right, and you can play as a number of different characters from the franchise. Depending on which character you're playing as, different choices present themselves, some circumstances play out a little differently, and the whole point is to get as far as you can, making the right decision possible to keep everything nice and balanced before something goes wrong and you have a revolt that ends in your death. Make no mistake, you are definitely going to die a lot playing this game, but as you keep going through different playthroughs, successive over and over again, new different things will start to emerge, new mechanics open up, and more characters are unlocked to play as, giving it a lot of replay value. Third up is one of the oldest games on this list, and in fact was one of the first really cheap sleeper hits you could grab on the Switch, and that's Kamiko. Basically, the whole goal of Kamiko is imagine playing a top-down, almost Zelda-style game, but on a very short time limit where you have to rush through levels as quickly as you can. It offers 3 different playable characters, all of which handle very differently and offer really fun experiences that, while you're doing the same levels, feels like a different kind of challenge. The art style makes use of a very pixelated but also very colorful look that I think gives it quite a bit of charm, and has an excellent soundtrack that accompanies the frantic, fast gameplay. With how fast-paced the game can be, it's a great choice if you want to play something in short bursts, but still have that sense of accomplishment that you actually beat a whole level of something. And with the 3 different characters playing so differently, it's well worth 3 full playthroughs. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, not every single game on this list is actually under $10. There is a single game we are about to talk about that is over $10 by a whopping whole single dollar at 11, and that is West of Loathing. West of Loathing is one of the most insanely funny, weird games I have ever played. It is a Western-style, emphasis on style, RPG that is entirely made out of very basic stick figure-like drawings and is a very strange, very enjoyable experience. There is not a single aspect of this game that takes itself seriously, whether that's the class system in it where you can play such things as the cow puncher or the snake oil salesman who literally hits enemies with snakes, or just the every single line of dialogue that is all over the place. It's a little difficult to explain what exactly makes this game so entrancing, but honestly, just trust me, it's 11 bucks, give it a shot, you won't regret it. Now, next up is a game that's a bit of a weird sell. When you just look at it visually, you might be wondering, well, how much fun can that really be? But honestly, it's a ton. Flat Heroes. Really, really simple game, very cheap to pick up. Basically, you just control these little squares. You can do it by yourself or in co-op with friends, and the main goal is to stay alive inside this very small area. You can cling to walls, jump around, dash through the air. There's a lot you have to do in terms of learning all the different kinds of projectiles you need to dodge and just memorize the right patterns to survive. This is a really simple game to play and super affordable. I think it's a great pickup if you just want a game that's going to be an occasional time killer. You're not looking for anything that's going to be a huge investment, but also makes a great fit for anything you want to do. Very simple co-op with family members where you don't want anything that's going to be too difficult. Again, visually you might think it's a little too simple, but trust me, it grows on you very quickly. Another game that originally was at home on mobile but has found its way to the Switch and makes a great fit is Flood of Light. This is a simple puzzle game in which you explore a seemingly desolate, possibly post-apocalyptic world, manipulating light posts in order to bring down the water level and explore more and more of the stages. It is a beautiful looking game, awesome, very just light soundtrack to the background, and the puzzles can get much more difficult as you get farther along. If you're looking for one of the absolute cheapest games on the Switch that can be entertaining, this is one of the best. The absolute cheapest game on this list, because it's completely free, is Deltarune Chapter 1. Now, yes, to be fair, this is technically a demo for a game that is coming out who knows how many years from now, but it is so amazing that honestly, you should just try it. Now, for those of you who don't know, Deltarune is a sequel slash prequel slash who actually knows what it is, but it's kind of related to Undertale, featuring a lot of the same characters, but it remixes the mechanics to making it a party-based RPG instead, and it works out beautifully. Like with Undertale, it has a very unique aesthetic along with an amazing soundtrack and a storyline that constantly walks the line of having some really good heartfelt moments and absolute utterly insane silly things that are hilarious. If you're a fan of Undertale and you haven't played this yet, what are you doing? Go do it now. And if you haven't played Undertale, honestly, check it out. It's free to play, tons of fun, and if you like it, really give Undertale a shot because they are great games. By the way, if you're looking for an affordable way to customize your Switch, a great option are skins like these from today's sponsor, dbrand. They make a whole bunch of different skins that are totally safe to use on the Joy-Cons, the Switch itself, and the dock, with a lot of different options, one of my personal favorite being the matte black, which looks awesome on the Joy-Cons. Check out the link down below for more info. Another classic option you can grab for the Switch is Mighty Gunvolt Burst. Now, this is a game from NT Creates, who's responsible for a lot of different 2D platformer games that have been on the 3DS and the Switch. They made the Mega Man Zero games back in the day. They also made Blaster Master Zero, which we've already talked about. But Mighty Gunvolt Burst is their approach to making an old school Mega Man style game, and it is awesome. The game is a crossover between their own Mega Man-like series, Azure Striker Gunvolt, and the less successful Mighty No. 9, and puts them together into an 8-bit style Mega Man game that is honestly the better version of what Mighty No. 9 should have been. It relies on the same run-and-gun mechanics that are popular to the franchise, but where it mixes things up a little bit is a heavier emphasis on speed, rewarding you for killing enemies quickly and getting through stages as fast as possible. The game also offers a very large number of different characters to play from, some as part of the game initially, others are DLC you need to grab, but each one plays differently in its own interesting way that allows you to play through the game multiple times. It's a cheap pickup and a great choice for anyone that needs their Mega Man fix. This next game is my absolute favorite one on this list. I cannot recommend this game hard enough, and that is Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. Now, if that name sounds familiar, the more recently released Bloodstained Ritual Night was a huge successful Kickstarter. The game finally came out and it's been getting great reviews, and the whole point of the game is that it's kind of recapturing the style of later Castlevania games like Symphony of the Night. Curse of the Moon is a side game they released as kind of part of it. It came out much earlier. It's made by NT Creates, and the entire base is instead to try and be like an old school NES style Castlevania game, and it does its job perfectly. The game has fantastic level design, great music, awesome visuals, and some of the best boss fights I have done in this style of game, and features 4 different playable characters that you can all switch between that all handle very differently. This is honestly the best love letter to old school games that's out there. If you love old school Castlevania, you owe it to yourself to play this, and even if you don't, just play it. It's amazing. Do it. A genre that I think has really found its renewed energy thanks to the Switch is platformers. There's no shortage of different platforming games you can grab that have all kinds of different weird, unique mechanics and visual styles to separate them. And one that is very cheap and awesome to pick up is Hugh. The basic idea behind Hugh is that as you progress through the game, you unlock different colors that you can make the entire world reflect, and depending on what color you currently have the world showing, different objects are interactable in different ways. You can shove crates around, you can land on blocks that make it safe not to land on spikes, and you can change colors often in order to even pass through objects that were previously there. It's very easy to begin with, but as you get further and further and unlock more colors to mess with, the puzzles get much more intricate and really interesting. Not to mention, the use of very bright, saturated colors makes for a beautiful looking game. If you're looking for another great platformer that's not going to break the bank at $10, this is a good choice.